Hey, this is Matt Wenning at winningstrength.com, and today we're going to go over lifting with no spotters. Now, I know a lot of you guys training in garage gyms. We've seen a lot of people miss and really injure themselves on the internet. So let's get to how I would help with if I didn't have any spotters. Alright, step one, always have a bailout plan. Now, that can mean set your pins on the height of your squat rack so that if you get maybe an inch deeper than you're supposed to go, you got a safe bailout point. We initially developed the belt squat with the adjustable spotter in the actual machine for this exact reason. There were a handful of times I was at the gym and I didn't have a spotter, and I didn't have my training partners. They were on vacation and I wanted to go heavy and I wanted to do it in a safe way, so I built the spotter on the belt squat. Now, there's some other things that you can do as well. If you don't have a rack, you can figure out a way to tie things from the top, like having chains or straps. You see those a lot in competitions with monolifts and things of that nature. You could set it up in a normal rack, and I'm sure there would be other ways you could set it up in rafters in your garage, but definitely have a way to get out of weights instead of taking them all the way to the floor. The problem is that as you get stronger, and let's take the squat for example, as you get stronger, your mobility in your shoulder and your hand is going to get worse due to your bench pressing strength and just age. And with that being the case, when you start to drop the bar off of your back, you're probably going to take some fingers, a wrist, or maybe an elbow or a shoulder with it. So if you've ever noticed, I've never dropped weights on the floor. I never trained to be that way. And the real big reason is I never wanted to tear up my shoulder or hurt my back, or most importantly, drop it on my spotters. Now, in the bench press, you may need to also use pins. You could use hanging straps. You could also use, like what we have on the Winning Strength bench, we have spotter fork arms that come out and you can adjust the height of those accordingly. That's a huge proponent to being able to be safe on the bench press. Now, we get to the deadlift, and the deadlift is one of those things we really don't need spotters for. It's great to have a great pulling environment where everybody's training hard and going hard, and some of that's just not maybe in our capacity. Maybe we live in a small city and we're the only ones that train in our garage, so we're left to Pantera and Slayer. So the big thing is the deadlift really doesn't need spotters, so that's one we won't cover too much. But I think some other big things, the factors that you guys need to be thoughtful of, is that never really train above a 9 RPE. What I have found in the last 30 plus years of training is that if I push to about a 92%, I gain the same amount of strength as if I go all the way to failure, right? And the reason is because the body needs a stimulus in order to grow to versus just get destroyed from. So you'll find that if you don't miss in the gym, you're better off both psychologically and physiologically as far as training goes. So if you're training with no spotters, there's really no need to go over an opener or 90%. And if you do, set up these things that we've just shown you with the straps and all those types of things so that you have a safe bailout point. Because at the end of the day, if you drop a weight and tear your shoulder out or you hurt your elbow, your training is going to go backwards and not forward. I hope this helps a little bit. Now, I know this stuff isn't rocket science, but I think the big take-home message to this is don't train above 90%. We really don't even do that with spotters. So without spotters, it's just a great way to tell your brain to never fail and always push through things safely.